All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Let's dive in. Just gonna mute everyone. Go ahead. Make sure you have a bolster or blanket to sit on. And yeah, props, always helpful. We're gonna actually start with some standing. So grab a non-slippery surface, whatever you have. We're gonna dive into these props. Okay, so working on some balance to begin. So foot coordination, knee strengthening, hip alignment. And go ahead and bring your right foot forward and your left heel back. And if you want, you can put that back foot touching the wall for that extra feedback. And go ahead and spread your toes wide. So we want to build and strengthen the arches by spreading the toes. And then we're going to work
I'm
with
sorry, Coach Rita Jean, did you say we needed to put our foot against the wall?
the back foot, yes, can be touching
Okay,
the wall. It
okay,
doesn't have
thank
to
you.
be, but it can be for the
Okay,
extra feedback. And
okay,
so
thank you.
we're going to work with the anatomy of strength today. So your foot, this is really fun. Go ahead and look at your feet. Go ahead and just sit down, take a look. So there's a little line right where the crease, there's the ball of the big toe, and then there's the crease. It's a little line right there. So you want to press through the mound of the big toe where that crease is. And then where your inner arch meets your inner heel, that's the next point. So just go ahead and feel that spot. And then feel the outside edge of your foot right where there's a bone. It's about in the middle of the outside edge. Find that bone, and that's the other point. So 1, 2, 3. And that creates a triangle, which is the strongest shape. And you will feel that difference if you apply those 3 points to your workout, to walking, to biking, to everything you do. It's going to change that structure and anatomy all the way up. So it's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant work. Absolutely love it. So let's focus on those 3 points. Left foot back, heel can be against the wall, toes facing forward, and your feet are only about hips width apart, 2 fists apart. So if you need to hold on to something for balance, do. And then press those 3 points in your right foot and your left foot. Mound a big toe crease where the inner heel meets the inner arch, and that center outer edge of your foot where that bone is. Woo! So especially when you start working those points, you're really going to start working on your balance in a new way. And those points are going to integrate from the feet to your head. And it's going to start to work the inner spine. So an area of the spine that's hard to access, the innermost spine, that's where we want to work and strengthen. Because remember, the health, the strength of the spine determines the health, the strength of the nervous system, which corresponds to everything else. So if you're having, if you're feeling that difference in your balance, especially when you're trying to work with those 6 points, 3 on the right foot, 3 on the left, right? It's a lot to integrate in your whole body, in your whole nervous system. And it's good if you have a little bit of shaking in your feet, your ankle is just trying to coordinate. It's going to build those fast twitch muscles. So that's going to support you in sprints. That's going to support you in coordination and stability, in being able to jump higher, right? All the things. And then as we start to build the stability in the ankle, that's going to build the feet, the arches. That's going to translate to the knees. That's going to translate to the hips and all the way up, even into the neck, the shoulders. So again, just focus on those 6 points as much as you can. Just go inwards, trace into your body, mount a big toe, inner heel, center outside edge of the foot. And you're extending through your toe tips. Reach through the toe tips. Good. And now your outside hip is rolling towards the front thigh. Front thigh is rolling towards the inner groin. Inner groin is rolling to the back of the thigh. Back of the thigh is rolling to the outer hips. So keep those 6 points of pressure on your feet and get that internal rotation and coordination. So it's going to open the back of the thigh. It's going to untangle those hamstrings. And then you're going to start coordinating between all the muscles between your feet and your head and working those inner spine muscles. Go ahead and square your belly button and your chest with the wall in front of you. And then find that lift from that center sternum upwards and forwards at that 60-degree angle. Good. Roll your inner shoulder down and back. So your inner shoulder, where the shoulder meets the neck, is chasing downwards towards the glutes. And the glutes are chasing downwards towards the heels, towards the floor. Remember those 3 points on each foot. And now imagine that your legs are growing longer. So you're lengthening, extending, reaching through the floor. And you might find that your feet are burning at this point because you're developing those muscles, those nerves, those tendons. We do really want to do this footwork every day, especially for injury prevention, right? How many times do people roll their ankle? Or one of the most common ones, especially when people are just getting back into athletics or movement, is that Achilles tendon injuries. So we're strengthening the Achilles, building that elasticity, strengthening the ankles and the coordination to the knee and the hips. And so it's really interesting, right? Way back in the day when skiing first started, they had little tiny boots, ankle boots, and people kept breaking their ankles. So then the ski boot was invented, right? And it goes all the way up to your upper shin. Now the ankle is strong, it's stable, but something has to give. So the knee gives. And so that's why there's so many knee blowouts, right? In skiing. And then you get the knee brace, and then that's secure, and this is secure, and then something else has to give, and the hip gives. And you see that, you've seen that in basketball too, right? Started out with the low top shoes, a lot of ankle injuries, then we got the high top shoes, and then we see a lot of knee injuries, right? So this is why this work is so important, is rebuilding the anatomy of strength through those 3 points. Rebuilding so that even when you do mess up and step on a foot and roll the ankle, you can have that comeback, right? Because everything is strong and elastic.
I know I stepped away with Coach Reed. I'm gonna need that replay because I do that with my ankles all the time. So I'm gonna need to know what you're speaking about. Please post this replay. Thank you.
Yes, I will. Absolutely. Thanks, TC. Yeah, this is such important work. And you can see I'm struggling with my balance, right? So you can have a chair, you can hold on to something. Um, but we gotta build this. We gotta develop it. It's daily work. And then if you can reach down to the floor, go ahead and reach to the floor. If you need extra height, grab props. I'll just demonstrate. You can grab a chair. You can grab bricks. So Iyengar was the first uh, man to invent the props, right? And so he literally had a brick from a construction site outside and used it so that we could bring the props to bring our position up so that we can do the pose wherever we're at, right? Whether we're dealing with injury, sickness, whether we're 90, right? We want to be able to do the pose. So hands are forward. Again, that left foot is back, that right foot is forward. Feet are about hips width apart, 2 fists. And again, work those points. Mound to big toe pressing, where the crease meets the mound of the big toe. Inner heel, where the inner heel meets the inner arch, pressing through the floor. Notice how that gets you on your inner body. That's going to access that inner spine. Now bring in the third point for that triangulation. Remember, a triangle is the strongest shape. So center outside edge of the foot pressing. Ooh, and then that just opens the back hamstring. And then you're spreading your toes wide, reaching through the toe tips. 100 hours, 1,000 hours, 10,000 hours, just into those 3 points. Triangulation. And you'll notice it, like we have a fan bike, and I do that for some strengthening, leg strengthening and cardio. And I'll press through the 6 points, the 3 points on each foot, and immediately my spine engages. It completely changes the activity. I'll do it when I'm playing basketball. And now engage the front of the thigh to the back of the leg. So as you're pressing downwards with those 3 points, engage the musculature of the legs so the kneecap is lifting upwards. Engaging the muscle to the bone. And it takes way more effort and coordination than it looks, right? It's mental and physical. Open the backs of the thighs so the inner groin is reaching towards the back of the thigh. Outer hip is rolling towards the front of the thigh. Front of the thigh is rolling towards the inner groin. Inner groin is rolling to the back of the thigh. So it's a continuous motion. And then we're always working opposing actions, right? I know your hips are talking. Everything's talking. We're holding this on purpose. So as the thigh internally rotates, we don't want the knee to come with it. So now there's 4 points on the back of your knee. There's literally 4 dimples. You can look at it in a mirror sometime. So the back of the knee, you want it level. The outside edge of the knee is reaching towards the wall behind you at the same rate that the inner knee is. So get that knee on straight. This is where it gets hard, right? Balancing the 3 points, getting the knee on straight, and then somehow getting that internal rotation. It's supposed to be impossible, guys. But it's in the effort of trying to do those opposing actions that you build that awareness in the body. Exhale, step your feet together. Mounds the big toes pressing. Okay, so work those 6 points. Mounds the big toes, inner heels. That inner heel point will Address any flat-footedness or overarching. And then the outer point. And notice the difference. Stop doing all the points of the feet. The body is, it's just kind of stagnant without it, right? There's not an alertness. And then activate the points. Mounds, big toes, inner heels, outer edges. What happens? The sit bones engage. The spine engages. The core engages. The mind becomes soft and clear and alert. It's completely different, right? It's like the difference between a stagnant pond and a clear rushing river. Exhale, take that right foot back. The heel can be touching the back wall. Again, feet are about hips width apart. And that back foot is turned out just slightly. Mounds of big toes pressing. Inner heel, center outer edge of the foot. Notice as soon as you do that, how the knee starts to align. The knee starts to strengthen, tone, activate. The joint starts to get space. Circulation starts to come. And now those stabilizing, because of that triangulation, those stabilizing muscles are engaged in the ankle. You might have some shaking and wavering as those build. And then again, we're strengthening and stretching the Achilles in a healthy, safe way. Now you have the 4 points of the knee. The outer knee and the inner knee are level. The front of the knee and the back of the knee are level. Square with the wall in front of you. Square with the wall behind you. So now we gotta set that intelligence and not lose it, and feel how much you're working. Feel how much coordination is happening, your ankle, your knee, and hip, right? Just from this work so far. Now we get to the upper thigh. Roll from the outer hip to the front of the thigh to the inner groin. Inner groin chases to the back of the thigh. You can use your hands to mold your thigh like clay. Back of the thigh opens, releasing the hamstrings. It's a huge release. It's a complete difference. And now take that extension, lengthen the leg longer. Outer hip to the front of the thigh to the inner groin to the back of the thigh to the outer hip. It's a continuous rotation. Engage the muscle to the bone. The knee cap is lifting upwards, chasing upwards towards the hip. The front of the thigh is engaging to the back of the thigh, muscle to the bone. And it's a complete rewiring of the tissues of the muscle so that those muscles are coordinated. They're not getting frayed. They're going to be way stronger. Hands down. You can be on a chair. You can be on blocks. Take a deep breath through your nose. Deep exhale through your nose. Deep inhale through your nose. Deep exhale through your nose. Okay. 3 points of the feet, working with the front foot. Mound a big toe, inner heel, outer edge. Align the back of the knee, the 4 points of the knee. Outer knee and inner knee are parallel. Open up the back of the thigh. Smooth breathing. Breathe through your nose. And now extend the legs longer. Reach through your toe tips, muscle to the bone, coordination. Soften the face, soften the jaw, soften the center brow. You're opening up a whole new channel of awareness. It's like, again, a river, a tributary flowing, going from stagnation to crystal clear waters to flowing. Exhale, feet together. Mounds of big toes pressing. Inner heels touching, big toes touching. Even the big toe tips touching, reaching towards each other. Iyengar would get as detailed as the nail of the big toe, right? The way that the direction that the nail is growing shows the direction that the feet are going. You want those toes aligned, including the toenail. And yes, that is something you can change. Inner heel pressing. Mounds of big toes pressing. These bodies are miracles. They are unbelievably intelligent. And during this class, we just get the opportunity to slow down and connect with some of that precision, some of that innate intelligence that's already there. When you slow down to connect to it, it just brings you back to that miracle of life. It truly does. Bend the knees. I'm holding my big toes. I'm getting them aligned. I'm working with them. Getting the toenail aligned. Mounds of big toes pressing. Align the big toes. Inner arches, where the heel meets the inner arch, pressing through the floor. Center outside edge of the feet pressing. Now, can you align the big toe with the inner ankle, with the inner knee? Just that's a lot of work. Ton of coordination. Remember, try and get both knees level. So if one knee is in front of the other, bring them equal on the same plane. So big toes are aligned, ankles are aligned. That's a lot of work. Knees are aligned. Smooth breathing through your nose. Once the knees are aligned, now we have to address the pelvis. And we do that through the sit bones. So if you need to, you can actually feel the two sit bones that you sit on. Right sit bone, left sit bone. You want those bones reaching back behind you towards the wall. So your innermost sit bone is reaching, extending, lengthening to the wall behind you. Big toes aligned, toenails aligned. Equal pressure on your feet, right foot, left foot. Balance in the ankles. Symmetry in the knees. Reaching through the inner pelvis, the inner sit bones, which is going to connect to the inner spine. And then open the backs of the thighs. Roll the outer hips towards the inner groins. And again, breathe. Release the jaw, soften the jaw. Release the center brow, soften the center brow. Smooth breathing. If it's challenging, smooth the breath, soften the breath. That's how you coordinate the nervous system and let the body know that it's safe during challenges. Breathing through the nose. And again, we're working subtly because we have to refire those neural pathways. We have to build that intelligence We have to work the muscle, the tendon, the bone. It's hard work. And then press through the feet to strengthen the legs. Hands come to the hips. Straighten the legs. You're just leaning forward like a tabletop. Again, 6 points. Toes are lengthening. As you find those 6 points, you'll start to see the tendons from each toe up to the ankle develop. We want all of those equally developed. Most of us have 2 or 3, maybe 4 developed. You want all 5 tendons developed. And then again, big toes touching, ankles level, knees on the same plane. It gets hard. Front plane, back plane of the knees aligned. Reach the outside edge of the knees towards the wall behind you. Front of your thigh is reaching to the back of the room. Sit bones are spreading wide. Release the sacrum wide, the back of the pelvis. Release the sacrum wide. And keep the coordination of the feet and the thighs. Front of the thigh reaching to the back of the room. Back of the thigh opening, spreading wide. Now we have the feet, the legs. Now we got to do the spine. Lengthen the spine long. Reach out the center top of your head, looking towards the floor. Roll the inner shoulder down on the back. Again, equal pressure on your feet. Inner shoulder rolling down your back. Armpit, chest is lifting upwards. Towards your shoulders, towards the ceiling. Elbows reaching back behind you. Hands are just on your hips. Thumbs on the sacrum. And now we're toning that spine, especially that thoracic spine, which is where we can tend to round our back or round our chest. We're strengthening those muscles now. So we can learn how to open our hearts. Equal pressure in your feet. Press through those 6 points. Engage the muscle to the bone, lengthen the spine. Reach out the top center of the head. Spread the sit bones wide. Heart lifting, center sternum reaching upwards and forwards. And then exhale. Oh, wow, I forgot that that's where the work starts. Come back to bending forward. Press through the mounds of your big toes. Work so slowly as you start to coordinate the legs and the spine coming to that standing. So now you're fully standing and erect. Inner shoulders are reaching down towards the floor. Front of the knee is reaching to the back of the knee. Front of the thigh is reaching to the back of the thigh. Release the Achilles long. And then exhale. We're trying to keep that balance and coordination, equal pressure in your feet. And it is so much harder than it looks. So you're going to slowly start to bend forward. The slower you move, the more you're going to get out of this work. And the challenge is, can you keep that balance, that coordination of those 6 points? Can you keep that equal pressure in your feet as you bend forward? And then exhale, working through those 6 points. We're going to slowly, and remember, the slower you go, the more you're working through your nervous system and those micro adjustments. And you're trying to stay balanced as you straighten back up. Now you're starting to work the intelligence of the feet and the spine. Reach through those 6 points. Inner heel reaching through the floor on the right side and the left side. Maybe you can find it on one side, but not the other. It's just good awareness. Chest is square, shoulders reaching down and back. Open the backs of the thighs. And then exhale, slowly bend forward. And I mean snail's pace. Because you're not going to find those areas where your body wavers unless you move slow. Move slow. We're going to do this a few times, and then once you get to that 90-degree angle tabletop where your back is flat, your heart is open, you're going to press through those 6 points of your feet and work slowly back to standing. And the idea is that you're extending through your legs, extending your legs longer, pressing through those 6 points, building an inner stability and strength. Up to standing, reach to the top of your head, open the backs of the thighs, exhale, come back down. And it's where the body has these micro wavers, where your body shifts its weight from right to left. Those are the areas where we're looking to strengthen. That's where the body has natural compensation patterns, and we're smoothing those out. And that's where your strength and coordination comes from. So keep going at your own pace, working those points. Engage the front of the knee to the back of the knee. And you'll find it. You'll find where your body naturally relies more on the right leg or the left leg. So we're working through those, working through those, working through those. It's refinement, but the impact that it has is massive. So again, you're just slowly working from forward fold to standing straight. Just applying as much awareness to those points as you can. Lengthen through the top of the head, working through the points of the feet. Smooth rhythmic breathing through your nose. And you'll start to feel it smoothing out, even just with a few of these repetitions. It's smoothing out, it's smoothing out. Open the backs of the thighs. Inner sit bone releasing back behind you. Heart opening, inner shoulder rolling down and back. Lengthen the back of the neck. Open the back of the heart. Tone the thoracic spine. And your feet are probably talking to you. We have been toning the feet through all those points. Yeah, it's so cute. So my little baby girl, we have rocks on our back patio. They're kind of sharp gravel, and she just walks barefoot on it, no problem. And it's because she has that flexibility and pliability of her feet, right? And then as adults, especially as we age, start to lose that flexibility and pliability. Just keep going with your work. And that's why it's so important, this work, to keep that, to rebuild that if you've lost it. And then to get that out time, barefoot walking time, to help rebuild that elasticity. Because if we lose that elasticity and pliability and strength in our feet, it corresponds to the entire rest of our body. So when you're talking about injury prevention or injury repair, it does truly start with the feet, regardless of where you're working. If you're working on your neck, if you're working on your knee, if you're working on your hips, if you're working on your elbow, we still have to coordinate it back to the feet. Extend through the toe tips, sit bones lengthening, reaching, extending. Smooth breathing, smooth breathing. So when you are in the forward folded bend, sit bones are reaching back behind you. The back of the pelvis, the sacrum, is lifting, reaching towards the back of your head. Lifting, reaching towards the back of your head. Lifting, reaching towards the back of your head. That's where the spine activates. Soften the organs, navel to the spine. There's an inner lift. It's called an Uddiyana Bandha. So the base of the pelvis is lifting to the top of the head. And the front of the thighs are reaching back, reaching back. Do you see that wavering I just had? It's super micro, but it was when I engaged the front of the thighs to the back of the room. So you're working through those weaknesses and those imbalances. Exhale, press through the 6 points to slowly come back up to standing. And that's that micro coordination that's going to actually build your strength, coordination, spatial awareness. Okay, fully standing, front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. Release the groins back behind you. Release the sit bones towards the heels. My sacrum just reset from that micro work. Again, we're building that coordination in the joints. Good. Lift the heart upwards and forwards at a 60-degree angle. Roll the shoulders down and back. It's like you're getting a micro back bend in your upper chest, just through the coordination of your shoulders. And then don't lose those 6 points. Don't lose those 6 points. Don't lose those 6 points. It's like surgery from the inside out for your knees, for your knee joints and everything else. Front of the knee to the back of the knee. Reach the outer edge of your knees to the wall behind you. Release the inner groin towards your inner heel. Inner groin towards the wall behind you. And as the muscle begins to engage to the bone, right, from the outermost layer to the innermost layer, that's when everything, that intelligence clicks on, that strength clicks on, the fibers start to realign. Arms reaching forward. Navel towards your spine. So your hands are just straight out in front of you, aligned with your shoulders, wrists and shoulders aligned. And again, you're still working those 6 points of the feet. Navel to the spine, sacrum, that little triangular bone on the back of your pelvis, reaching to the wall in front of you. And feel how much work you've done already. Those legs could be quivering, they could be shaking as they're realigning at the micro level, at the fiber level, at the tissue level. And then lengthen the legs longer. Remember, we're awakening intelligence in the legs, in the feet, in the body. And sometimes it's something that hasn't been activated since we were little kids. Release, open the backs of the thighs. Now inhale the arms straight up above your head. Wrists and shoulders are still aligned. Inner shoulder, where the neck and the shoulder meet, is reaching down to the floor. Mounds of the big toes pressing. Find that triangulation of your feet. That's when the pose starts. That's when we find the triangulation of the feet. Smooth breathing. Spread wide across the back sacrum. Wide across the back sacrum. And as you start working with the bone intelligence, the muscle intelligence, those micro movements, that's when the organs start to tone, release, set. Really nourishing at every single level. Organs, tissue, bone, nervous system, brain. Smooth breathing. Open the backs of the thighs. And those arms are reaching back behind you. So make your face parallel with the wall in front of you. Right eye and left eye parallel. That's huge work. Soften the jaw. Fingertips extending, lengthening. We have those 6 points of your feet. And now your shoulders are stacked right above your hips. And your hips are stacked right above your ankles. And then you're getting taller, lengthening in both directions. Lengthening through the floor and lengthening to the ceiling. Yet the throat is soft, the face is parallel. The eyes are even. Navel to the spine. Front of the knee to the back of the knee. Front of the knee to the back of the knee. Front of the knee to the back of the knee. Exhale, arms wide. Yes, all that. Me too. I was struggling too. Palms wide. Like you could palm a basketball, palms wide. Lengthen. And it's not until we activate those pinky fingers that we start to activate under the arm. My mama always would call that the bingo arm. We activate it through the pinky. Reach through the pinky. Reach through the pinky. Good. It's huge shoulder work, working through that pinky finger. Okay, can you get 1 inch taller in your spine? Can you stack those shoulders right over your hips? Hips right over your ankles. Front of the thigh to the back of the thigh, back of the thigh open. Outer knee reaching behind you. It sounds and feels impossible when you start to do all these points. And now can you make more space in the thoracic spine, which is your upper spine behind your heart? More space between those vertebrae. Extend out the center top of your head. Smooth breathing, smooth breathing. And remember, the back of the thigh is opening. So that anal sphincter region is not gripped. Where the glute meets the thigh is not gripped. Okay, 6 points, 6 points of your feet. Mounds of big toes, inner heels, outer edge of your feet. And the reason that we're holding such long timing is it takes this detailed work, this slow work, this long timing to start to get into those tissues and fibers, to break up our long standing patterns, to break up the fascia, to reawaken that intelligence, to get the tissues realigned, but also that energetic flow happening again. Again, like that river rushing. Woo! You feeling taller yet? And once we work this detailed, this deeply, this is your time, right? When else do we get this time to work this detailed? Then it becomes part of you. It becomes cellular intelligence. Then it gets taken into your day. But the practice is a necessity. Exhale, slowly micro bend the knees. Slowly walk the feet wide. That's some deep work. And don't shake it out. Your body is transformed from the inside out. It's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel different. Don't shake it out. Don't go back to your old patterns. Sit with this. Sit with this. Whatever needed to adjust for you, adjusted. It might be in your pelvis that you feel the opening or the spaciousness. It might be in your knee joints. It's going to go to where you need it. It might be in your back. It might be in your shoulders. It might be in your neck. Now take your feet about as wide as a sticky mat. Entwine, pigeon toe, kick those heels out. Now again, we're working with the intelligence of the knee. So the outer knee is reaching to the wall behind you. Outer knee reaching to the wall behind you. Your toes are on the same plane. Oh, that might bring some shaking. Again, it's the subtle work, that's the profound work. Outer knee towards the wall behind you. Mounds of big toes pressing, toes spreading wide. We got to work with the whole nervous system. Bring that entire map back online. Reach through your toe tips, press through the mounds of the big toes. If your ankles or feet are burning, that's a good sign. Press through the inner heel. Press the outside edge of your feet. Triangulation. Front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. Open the backs of the thighs to untangle the hamstrings. Open the backs of the thighs. It literally releases that grip from that inner groin and where that lower glute connect. Once that grip is softened, it's the craziest thing. That's when we find our strength. Once the grip softens from that lower glute and inner groin, back of the thigh, now only when that softens can the hips strengthen. Only when that softens do the hips engage. Okay, so we're going to work with the pelvis and work with the spine through the pressure of your feet. Inner heel pressing, mounds of big toes pressing, outer edges of your feet pressing. Please release that back of the thigh, inner groin, and where the glute meets. Release, open it, spread it wide. Mounds of big toes pressing, tailbone descending. Front of the thigh to the back of the thigh. Your legs should feel about 3 inches longer. Smooth breathing. If you have any internal percolation, shaking, again, we're re-strengthening the nervous system. Extend through it. Open the back of the thigh. Open the back of the thigh. Open the back of the thigh. Heart lifting, chest lifting, inner shoulders rolling down and back. Lengthen through the center top of the head. Tailbone descending, center top of the head lifting. And just see if you can get in your center, front body, back body, side body. Find that center line. And just stay with it for a second. Ooh, and then slowly micro bend. Oh my, that's so much work. Try not to come out just yet. Stay. I'm just doing a time check. Stay. Mounds of big toes together. Inner heels together. We're just gonna finish this with a Tadasana because you did so much work. Now we just have to integrate it. Toe spreading. Remember, release where the back of the thigh meets the lower glute. Open, release, soften. It's the only way we're going to activate and tone in the other parts of our body. We have to release where we're gripped and overly strong to find new muscles. Reach through the toes, 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 reach through the toes. Your toe tips are going longer. Inner shoulder down and back. Forehead soft. Extend through the top of the head. Back of the thighs open, back of the thighs open, back of the thighs open. Find that center line, inner heel, center pelvis, center heart, center throat, center of your brain. And then just see if you can get those legs longer. You're just extending, you're just lengthening. The awareness, activation, intelligence comes through the extension. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. That's what's gonna protect and support your joints. Lengthen. Good. Exhale. Release, come to the ground. Just find a comfortable space where you can lie down. Try to have your body not touching any props. If you have glasses, remove them. And lying flat on your back. Knees can be bent or straight, palms facing up. Close the eyes. This is surrender. You just worked so hard. Now it's time to surrender. Jaw softens. Tongue releases away from the roof of the mouth. Center forehead softens. Imagine your side temples opening like horses' eyes. Breathing through your nose. And your body melts like a stick of butter in the sunshine. Melting. Melting. Softening, surrendering. Pelvis softens. Glutes soften. Knees soften. Ankles soften. Shoulders soften. Throat softens. Wrists, elbows soften. Deep breath through your nose. Organs soften. Brain softens. Nervous system softens. Inhale through the nose, wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. Press downwards to come upwards. Just take note of your nervous system, of your body, of your presence. Gently, softly, bring the palms together. Chin releases towards the heart, forehead to the chin, chin to the heart. And take any softness, any peace that you found with you. And this can truly become the nervous system baseline, the operating system. The center from which you interact with everything else. And it can truly become the baseline even when there's stress. And then it becomes your operating system so that regardless of what is happening around you, you can come from that peace, that center, that strength, that quietness, that groundedness, that softness. And so that's what we're doing, is we're just creating that baseline. And it creates the deep, deep roots. It's a beautiful, rich, deep well. And when we find that connection, that softness with ourselves, it becomes a natural extension to the world, to others, to our environment, to what we're doing, to our community, to our arts, to our crafts, to our passions. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste. Love you all. And just allow yourself to be inward. Allow that softness or quietness in the brain. Just allow that to carry forward whatever you got going. Great work. I see you, Karen. You're welcome to come off mute.
Oh my God. I rush here because I know it's going to be so beneficial to me, but I am equally as grateful when it's over.
Oh, yeah.
Was this difficult for anybody else? This
Yes,
was
ma'am.
a rough. It was okay. At least I'm not alone.
Yes, ma'am. My knees
And
are
all the
screaming.
percolating. Wow. Well, I'm glad I was on mute. I mean, I was crying out to the Lord to and I really should have been concentrating on my breathing. And I know it would have been much easier for me, but I was over here just all that. So next time I'm going to really have to start focusing on my breathing because it does help me to get through it. But oh my God, Coach Rita G, were you percolating too?
Oh, yeah. I was percolating too.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the more subtle it is, the more challenging it is. And you're going,
Ah,
and it's just part of it. We gotta release. We gotta let go. It's part of
oh
it.
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was letting go of a lot today. Thank God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Whew.
It was a great practice. My knees are screaming, Coach Rita. It really is. I was this is off topic, but I didn't know you play basketball. What position do you play?
Yeah, growing up, I was post.
Uh, awesome. Awesome.
You
I
look
bet
like it
you.
too now that you say
Okay.
it.
Wow.
Cool,
So,
cool.
so I played too, but I didn't play that much because I don't even know what my post was. I think I was just out there for the fun of it. I played in high school.
Yeah, I love that. That's the
I
best.
love basketball.
All
Yeah.
right. I know. I wish we all lived close. We could meet up.
I know, right?
Yes,
That's cool.
absolutely.
Coach Rita, when you're doing the 6 points, are yours automatically touching because you've done it so long, or do you still have to work to do that? Because this thing, like, yeah.
Gotta work. I gotta work for it. You can use a rubber band,
Wow.
literally. It rewires everything, right? It rechanges. It changes the knees. It changes everything. I gotta work for it. We all gotta work for it.
Wow. That's
So
beautiful.
were you pushing your toes apart, or were you spreading them apart on your own? Were you
No,
just
I
now
use
pushing
my
them apart,
finger.
or you? Oh wow. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
'Cause a
Yeah.
lot of times because a lot of times it's hard for me to do it, and I'm like, I want this Coach Rita all her 6 points is like automatically going down to the ground.
It'll get easier. Like it'll become your baseline, but you still gotta work for it every day,
Wow.
right? Same with like everything, right? We
Right.
stop our
And
workout for it.
I like what you said about when babies, if they walk on rocks, that, because they're so pliable. So when do we actually start losing all of that?
It comes, I mean, even shoes, right? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
most shoes
Mhm.
cram our feet in, where now
Right, right,
some shoes that you can go wider. But when you
right,
can look, I lost that pliability. It became rigid,
right.
and now I have that bounce.
Gotcha, gotcha. And that's why I can only use these what are they, Pulva, Paluva.
Very
They're those grounding shoes. Oh my
yeah,
gosh, I just love them. I cannot be constricted anymore. I
yes,
really can't. I have to have bigger shoes on if I'm going to wear, like regular shoes like this. I can't have them constrict me anymore now that I know how good it feels to walk almost flat-footed. I mean, flat-footed without feet. I mean, without feet, without without shoes.
So
absolutely.
wait, those are grounding shoes?
They're grounding shoes, Paluva, Lva, Paluva. They're wonderful.
Shoes. Um, you can do, yeah, suede moccasins. Like there's so
Have
many
these with the
toes. The
toes as well. These are great too.
Oh.
Vibrams are good. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
Mhm.
my gosh,
So they help with flat feet? Do they help with flat feet? Because I have flat feet.
yeah,
I have flat feet too.
it's gonna
Hmm.
help build those arches. And those 3 points are gonna build those arches.
Okay. I didn't
Yep,
even know.
they're
Okay.
wonderful.
I love it. I do got a hop, but I love you all. Thank you so
Okay. Thank
Okay, love you
you.
all. Take care
Love
now.
you. Have a
much.
great week.
Bye. Have a
Bye.
blessing.
See
Bye-bye.
ya.
Bye.